At 16, Olivia Carter had already learned how to apologize for emotions she didn't fully understand. That was the strange thing about living with someone who never raised their voice. Her stepfather, Michael, was calm in the kind of way people admired instantly. Controlled, polite, patient. Teachers trusted him. Neighbors respected him. Adults described him as steady, the kind of man who made everyone around him feel safe. But Olivia noticed something nobody else seemed willing to see. Something cold hiding beneath the kindness. Whenever she tried explaining why his presence made her uncomfortable, people smiled sympathetically and gave her the same response every single time. Michael is trying his best. Eventually, she started wondering if the problem was her. Maybe she really was too emotional, too dramatic, too difficult. Michael never screamed during arguments. That was what made everything so confusing. Instead, he spoke softly while slowly dismantling her confidence piece by piece. "You always misunderstand people," he would say gently. "You create tension where there isn't any." Over time, those sentences stopped sounding like opinions and started sounding like truth. Olivia learned to distrust her instincts long before she realized someone had trained her to. After Olivia's father died, her mother spent years emotionally exhausted and financially overwhelmed. When Michael entered their lives, he looked like stability. He fixed broken cabinets without being asked, paid overdue bills quietly, brought flowers home every Friday evening like clockwork. Everyone praised him for saving their family. Olivia tried forcing herself to feel grateful too, but something about Michael always felt rehearsed, like every smile had been practiced in advance, every kind gesture measured carefully. Whenever Olivia became quiet around him, Michael noticed immediately. "See," he would tell her mother calmly, "she shuts down whenever I try connecting with her." And somehow the conversation always shifted away from Michael's behavior and onto Olivia's attitude. Her mother would sigh heavily, already exhausted before the conversation even began. "Why can't you just give him a chance?" she asked one night. Olivia didn't know how to explain that fear doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes fear arrives smiling. Sometimes it arrives politely. Sometimes it sounds patient enough to make everyone else trust it before you do.
One Friday evening, Olivia came home early from a school debate competition. After feeling sick halfway through the event, the house was unusually quiet except for Michael's voice drifting from the office downstairs. At first, she ignored it while walking toward the kitchen for water. But then she heard her own name. Olivia froze instantly near the hallway wall. Michael sounded calm, casual. "She's emotional like her father," he said softly into the phone. "You have to handle people like that carefully, or they turn everyone against you." Olivia felt something inside her stomach collapse. A few seconds later, Michael laughed quietly. Honestly, half the time she creates problems that never even happened. Silence filled Olivia's chest. Not shock exactly. Recognition. Suddenly dozens of old conversations replayed differently inside her mind. Every time he dismissed her feelings. Every moment he convinced her mother she was overreacting. Every situation where she somehow ended up apologizing after being hurt. Her body recognized the truth before her mind fully caught up. And for the first time in years, Olivia stopped wondering if she was imagining things. The moment Michael laughed about her behind closed doors, something inside her finally stopped doubting itself. That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. Rain tapped softly against her bedroom window, while years of confusion replayed inside her mind like scenes from a movie. She suddenly understood differently. Around midnight, she opened old messages between herself and friends. Slowly, patterns started appearing everywhere. "Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I misunderstood. I think something's wrong with me." Reading those words felt unbearable because she realized how long she had been shrinking herself just to survive emotionally. For years, she believed confusion meant she was immature, weak, oversensitive. But now another possibility terrified her far more. What if the confusion had been intentionally created? The next morning, Michael acted completely normal during breakfast, smiling while pouring coffee for her mother like nothing had happened. Watching him perform calmness So naturally, after hearing the conversation from the night before changed something permanently inside Olivia. Manipulation suddenly became visible. And once something becomes visible, it becomes impossible to unsee. A week later, Olivia finally confronted her mother quietly while folding laundry in the living room. At first, her mother defended Michael immediately. "He's done everything for this family," she said tiredly. Olivia nearly backed down right there. That old instinct to doubt herself returned instantly. But this time she stayed calm. Instead of arguing emotionally, she described patterns, specific phrases, specific moments. The way every conflict somehow became her fault. Slowly, her mother's expression changed. Not dramatic realization. Worse, quiet realization. The kind that hurts slowly. Weeks later, Olivia overheard her mother confronting Michael behind closed doors. And for the first time, his calm voice cracked with irritation. Not rage. Just enough frustration to expose the performance underneath it. In that moment, Olivia finally understood something powerful. People who manipulate others emotionally depend on confusion to survive. Clarity threatens them. Months later, Michael no longer lived in the house. And therapy helped Olivia understand something she wished someone taught her years earlier. Manipulation does not always look cruel. Sometimes it looks patient, reasonable, calm. That was what made it dangerous. One evening, Olivia stood outside her school watching snow fall beneath the parking lot lights while her best friend talked beside her. And for the first time in years, her chest felt light. Not because everything was healed, but because she trusted herself again. That became the real victory. Not exposing Michael, not proving she was right, trusting herself. For years, people told Olivia she was too emotional. But eventually, she realized the truth. She was never too emotional. She simply noticed what everyone else was too comfortable to ignore.